A man can give you a house, but a woman gives you a home. A man can give you,
get a maid.
I don't know what we can say on this, but a man can give you sperm, but a woman can give you a child. A man can give anything that a man gives a woman, we make it greater.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
How do nightclubs get away with charging men a higher admission fee than women? Isn't that sexist?
Oh, I agree. I always wondered, why women get in for free. I think that is definitely a double standard.
I definitely agree, and I think there's should be a men's night as well. Instead, like women's are normally Thursdays, right? Money. And I think there should be a men's night as well.
Okay, and so if private companies can get away with that type of sexism, why shouldn't private companies get away with a gender pay gap?
Good question.
See, that's hard because, yeah.
I just don't think you can base wage of worth ethic on gender.
I don't think it's sexist.
Here's the thing. It's a good question. It's not. But I know that he knows the answer to the question. And the answer is that gender pay gap doesn't exist. That's the first part of the equation. But then the other answer to the question is that it's economics at the end of the day. What the club is actually doing is it's taking advantage of the evolutionary biology of men to want and be attracted to visually appealing things. Here's the thing is that I can go into a club and be like, yo, the girls is here because you're seeing visually attractive things that you want to be able to see. Women don't have that visual thing. So they're less likely to go because women get attracted by what they hear while men get attracted by what they see. And in a club type environment, you could barely hear anything. You could barely meet anybody. So it's generally not a type of a space where they can scratch that itch, that proverbial itch, if that makes sense to you. So it's economics on one side of the coin, and on the other side of the coin, the wage gap doesn't exist. So, but I get where he's going with the question. It's a brilliant type of a question if you assume that they believe that the wage gap exists. Anyway, let's continue.
I think the fact that girls can get in more keeps it from being a sausage fest. I know all guys would want to go to the club and they'd want to have more girls there than guys. So
I feel like it attracts more guys when they see hot females. So it's a marketing tactic, if anything. So it makes sense.
Economics.
Don't you think women would complain if they were the ones expected to pay more?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I think if I was a man, I would probably be a little bit upset about that too, to be completely honest.
If private companies can get away with that type of sexism, why shouldn't private companies get away with a gender pay gap?
They assume it's real.
I think that it comes down to accountability on all parts, right? Like, we recognize that there's a problem in equality with men and women, and whether that's women benefiting, getting into clubs for free, or men benefiting, getting paid more, I think that conversation starts with us admitting that there's a problem and everybody owning it. Like, let's live in this world together as equals, and both sides need to step up to the table and do the work that it takes to be recognized.
So why do the people who say they want equality only complain about the double standards that don't benefit them?
Great question.
Can you elaborate on that more?
Well, I'll just repeat the question.
This is like complaining about being involved into more CEO positions, but then also not complaining about being involved in being more ice road truckers or plumbers or whatever the blue collar task that's dominated by men. Guys, it's after Labor Day. And you know what that means, right? 2 words. Cuffing season. Are you prepared? Guys, your balls have been through enough this past year. Make sure you're keeping things as safe and as fresh as possible with our boys over at Manscaped. Listen, they just released the Performance Package 4.0. And trust me, it's worth the wait. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This trimmer is insane and, dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever. Yeah, I said it. It also includes the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, which provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate areas. The package also includes the performance boxer briefs and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. Guys, Manscaped is the leaders in male grooming for great reason, and they're gonna be taking great care of us. Go to manscaped.com/MTR to receive 20% off plus free shipping. That's 20% off and free shipping. What are you waiting for? Because trust me, your balls will thank you.
So why do the people who say they want equality only complain about the double standards that don't benefit them?
I don't know. I would say I'm someone who is for equality. And like I said, like last night, like we were able to get into clubs for free and do a lot of things that guys probably wouldn't be able to do. But we're here advocating for equality on both sides. So I think it really depends on the person you talk to.
Well, how likely are you going to see a woman in a club saying, in the name of fairness, I demand that you charge me full price?
I mean, I think if you flip that question, like you're not going to see a man who's getting paid $100,000 a year compared to a woman who's getting paid $75,000 a year. You're not going to see that guy demanding that she gets paid the equal amount. So I feel like that flips on both sides.
But the irony there is that the wage gap doesn't exist. In 2021, you get paid off of your skill, your talent, and what you initially negotiated when you signed up for said job. Because no one, as much as we are in a capitalistic society as what we are, if companies can pay women, right, 25 cents on the dollar to do the exact same work, trust me, they would, instead of hiring more expensive men to do the exact goddamn work. So you already set it up on a false premonition. But then when he asked you a question specific to you, how many women would fight for equal cost in entering a club, you switch it back on to the men with a completely false and made up hypothesis. Let's keep going.
But don't you see men going to women's marches, supporting women's issues?
I think on and off. I think it depends on...
So aren't there already men out there, kind of fighting for equality for women? Why are you more likely to see men fighting for women's issues than you see women fighting for men's issues?
Men fight for women's issues, do they?
Well, don't men go to women's marches and identify as feminists?
I've never seen it.
There are plenty of men, actually.
She's seen it.
To see it.
So you never seen a man at a woman's march?
No.
You never seen a male feminist?
Scratch your face.
I've heard of it, but I would love
Body
to
language
see
getting
it.
uncomfortable.
Yay!
Why don't women just start identifying as men to get higher pay, and men start identifying as women in order to get free drinks at ladies' nights?
At the rate America's going, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, facts.
Literally.
Gender pay gap, I think, like I said before, girls have equal opportunity. I think there's a lot of ways that girls can make pay other ways, other than jobs and stuff. There's a lot of other places, if they have a good looking whatever, they can make a lot more money somewhere in other places. So I think.
Okay, does the fact that OnlyFans exist prove that women are okay being objectified as long as they're getting paid?
Yeah, because I think there's a double standard there, because it's a lot of girls that say, they're all this, and they're all about feminism, whatever, blah blah, and that they're super important. But then they put themselves out there and they think I'm gonna show my body, all that shit, and you're basically putting yourself there and saying I'm basically not all that, not all of what I'm saying.
If private companies can get away with that type of sexism, why shouldn't private companies get away with a gender pay gap?
There's not a gender pay gap. That's complete bullshit.
Is sexism only bad when it happens to women?
I like her.
No, definitely not, because sexism can go both ways. It's the same with racism. Not only white people can be racist to black people can also be racist to white people. So it's I think it can go both ways.
Is sexism only bad when it happens to women?
I don't really know a guy that cares if sexism happens, so yes and no, but I think every guy currently is yeah, bring it.
A man can give you a house, but a woman gives you a home. A man can...
Hold on. Before they get into their dribble, one more time.
I think every guy currently is yeah, bring it.
I'm so confused by what she's saying. I wish that he asked for maybe examples, because the way I understand sexism is that it's prejudice based off of someone's gender. I don't know how men would want prejudice based off of their gender, like a bring it type of a thing. Like, if anything, we talk about all day these different portions of the internet that speak abhorrently about men. And it's really with this feminist tone that they are superior to men. So I'm at a loss here how men would want sexism and to bring it, as she said, quote unquote. But guys, leave me some comments down below. Are you picking up with what she's saying? Let's keep going.
A man can give you a house, but a woman gives you a home. A man can give you,
get a maid.
I don't know what we can say on this, but a man can give you sperm, but a woman can give you a child. A man can give anything that a man gives a woman, we make it greater.
Okay. Let's pause that real quick. Where do I begin? where do I begin? Yes, children come from the vessels of women. Okay, but you're not giving us a child without our participation. Okay, we have to be clear on this, because I think sometimes the words matter. The accuracy in words matter, because there's subtle bits of bullshit that's inflicted into the minds of both young men and young women, which either values or devalues the way that they think about a certain thing. You cannot give us a child without our participation. You can't. And if you want to start off on the idea that anything that a woman gets, you make better, you make better, you also can get sperm and not allow that child to maturate into full 9-month term pregnancy. You can also do that as well. Is that really better? You got to challenge some of these things. Anything, that, men give to women, we just make better. You have to challenge these things, because you actually have to make it better. You actually have to make it better all of the time, if that's what you want to say, or it's just airy-fairy, fluffy shit that does particularly well in an echo chamber of your choosing. Okay? Because look at that.
You can give us anything, we will make it greater.
Genjutsu.
You can give us groceries, we will make a meal. Right. You can give us a vehicle, and we make a trip. I don't know, that wasn't that good.
Who is responsible for pregnancy, the man or the woman?
Both.
Both?
Good answers.
Okay. Why do women claim to be the creators of life when the child is wanted, but when the pregnancy is unplanned, it suddenly becomes the man's fault for not wearing a condom?
I don't have that mentality, so I can't relate.
Right. I mean, it's both consensual. You
Logic.
literally let a guy go inside you knowing that the possibility is.
Yeah, I don't think like that, so.
Okay.
I like them, okay? And again, it's because they don't speak in airy-fairy bullshit. They speak in logic. Guys, also understand this. When the women speak in a lot of logic as well, just do understand, because if they're very logical in the way that they think, and then also feminine as well, that's the sweet spot right there. But just be sure that they also don't dive wholly into the masculine energy within that. But if you got... She's got logic that she uses. Like, she looks at shit happening and then draws fathomable conclusions off of the shit that she sees. Fantastic. But if they speak in this airy fairy astrology type bullshit, right? They speak in limerick, they speak in rhymes, they speak in hymns and shit like that. You're like, God damn, like, does everything that you speak about is just up in the air like that, right? Like, be very mindful of those types of thinkers. Okay, because they will take that decision making and then use it against you. Trust me. Keep going.
Men are probably more responsible than women as far as birth is concerned, because a man can impregnate one woman. A man can impregnate 9 women within 1 month. A woman can only be pregnant one time within 1 month. So honestly, I feel like birth control should be in a man's hands. That's just in 1 month. So honestly, I feel like birth control should be in a man's hands. Pregnant one time within 1 month. So honestly,
she got you. She got you. Is that the argument that you guys are gonna? Okay, that's the reason why. Okay.
honestly, I feel like birth control should be in a man's hands. That's just my opinion.
Okay, but don't women ultimately decide who gets sex and who gets born?
That's correct. We ultimately decide who gets sex and who gets born, but a man can impregnate 9 women in one day.
Have to say at the end of the day, it will be the woman.
Like she was almost there. Shout out to IC. You almost brought it to the promised land, but she just the need to just not able to sit within the accountability of women. She just couldn't fathom it. But okay, he's going to disregard everything I just said before that. Okay, yes, we have control of who enters inside of me. Yes, we have control of ultimately if that baby gets taken to full term. Yes, we have all of that control, but still, responsibility all 100% on the man. I think it's both. I think it's 50-50. Even if you count in all of the contraception that women have access to, I still think it's 50-50. I still think it's 50-50, okay? But let's move on.
Me personally, because she has to make the decision, should she either keep the baby or abort the baby?
Well, aren't women ultimately the ones who decide who gets sex and who gets born?
For the most part, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Why do women claim to be the creators of life when the child is wanted, but when the pregnancy is unplanned, it suddenly becomes the man's fault for not wearing a condom?
This goes back to the first segment. A lot of women don't want to take accountability for their own actions. That's the truth.
Hey, listen, fantastic content. Shout out to the channel, It's Complicated. I think interviews like this are so instrumental in uncovering the modern ideologies, right? The prescription that modern men and modern women have put themselves in order to judge the society before them. And then you start to see it kind of play out in the decisions that they make. And you also see it play out in the way that they attribute different reasons or faults for different things that happen before them. Okay. But I think that it is apropos that we have these discussions in a very clear, concise, and objective format to continue to push these thoughts and our ideologies into the younger generation so that they can make the best decisions for themselves in order to continue to unlock the keys of life, to unlock pure happiness and joy, especially for dudes, because we have far less leniency for making mistakes in society. And the earlier that we can unlock the keys of life to figure out what our placement is and how it is that we can attribute joy and happiness within that, the more likely that we'll be able to achieve it, thus leading to a successful life. Shout out again to It's Complicated, guys. I'll leave a link down to this video down in the description box down below. Make sure you go over there, watch the content. So many gems. So many gems. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.